start with chords.
Bam. Welcome. How's it going, Dan?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're just sitting here chilling, doing episode 2 of ELFguitar podcast. Drinking ginger ale. That's right. I drank all of mine.
Beautiful. That just went right into. That's how we start this out.
That's right. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about more tips and tricks. Whatever else we feel like talking about, jamming. You think we got enough guitars over here?
No.
No.
Always more.
More. Yeah, the next one to add to the collection is a 7-string. And
it's too many strings.
I've been eyeballing a Schecter Banshee Elite 7-string.
With the 7-string, do you do it down to a B, or
Yeah.
do you add a B, or do you add an A above the E?
You could do either, actually.
I feel like the A above the E would be too much.
You could do either. It's cool.
The B below the E would be.
Yeah. I'm going to turn your mic up a little bit here.
Okay.
You're going to be...
Well, the problem is I'm faced away from the mic. If I'm directly into the mic, then...
There. Is that better?
Okay.
Say something.
Yeah. Something.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, you had a low B on a 7-string. That's what that's all about.
So basically you're playing a bass and an electric guitar.
That's an 8-string, I feel like. If you want to, have you ever heard of the band Animals as Leaders?
No.
They're crazy. It's 2 8-string guitarists and a drummer, and that's it. And the main guy who does all the leads and stuff is Tosin Abasi. And he's phenomenal. I mean, he's kind of like, of our generation, he's like the new kind of guitar god figure. Small G, by the way.
Yeah.
Not
Lowercase
big G.
no.
Small, lowercase G.
So what do you think about John Mayer?
John Mayer, I like him.
He's good.
I mean, he's a little too poppy for me, though. Like, I had a lot of people in college liked him, and I had friends that liked him, the whole singer-songwriter thing. And
his stuff's complicated, though.
yeah,
There's a
I
lot of
guess.
depth to his writing.
His songs or his lyrics? What are you talking about?
Well, no, like the music theory that goes into his writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he just kind of goes off of old blues licks and gospel-y stuff.
He throws in a lot of jazz and blues and
Yeah.
gospel-y stuff, but he does it in a way that sounds, I don't know, for lack of a better term, fresh.
Yeah. He does good. I know. I seen him do. You know. I thought it was funny watching him do. He was live and he was doing Eruption. So he does all sorts of wild stuff. But he didn't like jump out at me as this great guitar. See, the guys that I followed in high school was Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. I got into this guy recently, Guthrie Govan, and he's crazy. And then it was after, and besides that, it was all like blues guys, like Buddy Guy, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Albert King. So, you know,
Yeah.
that was kind of my influence. I guess John Mayer came across as too pop and clean cut for me. I guess that was the issue.
Too mainstream. More than 6 people knew who he was.
There's some guitar nerds that are pretty pissed off after that.
You know it's true, though. A lot of people dislike people just because they're popular.
Yeah. I mean, props to the guy for dating probably every cute pop star. Wasn't it a bunch of singers, or did he date an actor? He also dated a few actor chicks.
I have not kept up.
There's
with
a
his dating
list of girls that he dated that was like, wow. That's a lot of famous females.
life. Yeah.
And
I mean, when you have a song like "Your Body Is a Wonderland," you just draw them in.
I think he was. Who was he dating at that time?
I haven't a clue.
Katy Perry.
I didn't even know he dated Katy Perry.
He did date Katy Perry.
Okay.
I think. I don't think he dated Lady Gaga.
I guess we could look it up, but
She was too good for him, probably. That's what's going on. She saw him and was like, I know what you're about. You're mainstream.
more than 6 people know who you are. You can't be talented. So what are we doing?
I just turned the camera on.
Let's turn the camera on.
Yeah.
What does the stream description say we're doing?
I said that you're here. I called you Dynamite Dan.
Awesome.
And oh yeah, we were gonna open with a song, weren't we?
Well, we can just play the chords of it.
Okay. We're gonna play a little tune for you guys. Those listening can enjoy. Here's what my guitar sounds like.
Mine sound very straightforward because I don't have a wah pedal.
Yeah. Well, this is my nice, I love this thing, the micro vibe.
I love this cheat F sharp minor chord that has no root note in it. It's so easy to play.
What is it? A G sharp?
It's an F sharp.
F sharp?
Minor. F sharp minor. But I don't bother with the root note. I forgot to tune my guitar. I'm gonna do that before we play.
You're gonna tune? Oh.
Maybe I did tune.
Okay. All right, Dan, kick us off. was the first time we ever played that together, right?
Yeah. Sometime I'll have to throw in the lyrics.
Yeah.
But
Dan writes songs and deep lyrics. 'Cause that's what Dan's about.
I can keep saying that. I write the best songs ever that no one's ever heard.
Better than John Mayer.
Oh, this is not a bash John Mayer podcast.
No, it's not. It's not.
I really like John Mayer.
Dan likes John Mayer, so for those upset, don't be.
I'm not an expert guitarist that's moved on to the guitarists that only 6 people know.
If you ask me if I like John Mayer, I just say, yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
I like pop music I like the complexities and intricacies of, a lot of the really, really great guitarists out there.
Right.
But I also like the simplicity of pop music where you boil things down to their absolute minimum of what you need to express something. And the ability to do that, where you say something with 2 notes instead of 600.
Yeah.
I think that takes a lot of skill to do that. But it comes across as lazy because it's so simple. But it's only simple after the fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. So I think there's beauty in simplicity.
Oh, I hear you. That's why when I mentioned earlier, like all the blues players I like, that's, they would take that. Buddy Guy was especially one. I don't know. People know who he is, but Buddy Guy, he just does things on the guitar. I guess when it came to guitar players, I just liked seeing players that took things outside of normal playing. And Buddy Guy was one of those guys. Even though he was a blues player and he knew all the blues licks, he would bend the string, dude. And you're sitting there going like, whoa, like, cause he's taking that note to a whole. When he does some of these bends, these string bends, I mean, he takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
You're just listening to the note.
2 steps.
Yeah, well, he just makes it sing, He makes it sing. That's what I like about it. And and that's
He makes it scream.
Yeah.
I get that. I always break a string if I go more than like 1 full step up when I bend.
Really?
Well, I'm using 9-gauge strings, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've already told you about the time I was playing live. Last song, mid solo, broken E string on this guitar, and this guitar has a floating tremolo on it, as most people can see, and the tension of the strings pull it up, and the springs attached on the back of the guitar pull it down. So when a string pops, everything goes out of tune. But luckily everything went out of tune a half step. So I just had to play everything a half step sharp.
And equally across all strings. That's just insane.
Well, I mean, we were playing blues and rock and roll, so it was close enough for that. I mean, it wasn't like perfectly in tune, but it was like I'm sitting there playing solos and and
as long as you don't get into the bass range, people don't tend to notice.
Yeah. And then if I'm bending the string or doing a lot of vibrato, it's not really, And everybody was, it was at a bar. People were drunk enough at the ad hour, so.
Yeah, Freebird.
Yeah.
That was the best rendition of Freebird I've ever heard.
Yeah, and it was an original
Sir,
tune.
we're tuning. Did you hear that? There was this article going around how the fans for Radiohead, the band came out. They started playing this thing, and the fans just started cheering. It's like, this is the best thing I've ever heard. And the only thing that Radiohead was doing was tuning their guitars.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Fans thought it was a brand new song. and it was just them tuning.
That's hilarious.
I think the article, I can't remember if the article was satire or not, but I feel like it was just like, these people are just kind of pretentious, and they think they know everything, and so it's just like, oh yeah, they're definitely performing a new song. It's just they're just tuning. They have no idea what they're talking about. So.
Yeah, that's great. Did you ever hear the movie This Is Spinal Tap? Have you seen it?
I never saw it, but I've heard of it.
It's something every guitarist needs to see. Every person out there.
Does it have Jack Black?
No. It's a British mockumentary. They call it a mockumentary. That's Tenacious D. Yeah. This Is Spinal Tap is a mockumentary, a British mockumentary. And if someone out there is listening to this and they enjoy a good old hearty rock and roll laugh, this is that. My favorite scene, I'll never forget it. Because it's a mockumentary, so it's basically a camera crew following this band, and they're talking to the guitarist, and they're like, "So tell us, like, what inspires your solos for these songs?" He's like, "Oh, well, I'm very emotional and serious when it comes to my solos. I'm very solemn." And then the camera like cuts and goes to him playing live, and he has his guitar, and he's just like sawing. He has like a metal rod on his guitar, and he's just like full gain distortion. And then he takes the guitar and he puts it down. Oh, and then he has another guitar on a stand next to him that he plays with his foot. And it's just like... And then he like takes the other guitar, he starts rubbing the guitars together, and lights one on fire, and then it cuts back to him in the interview, and he's like, "Yes, it's a very emotional experience for me."
Have you ever seen the movie Music and Lyrics with Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore? Your wife might like that.
Yeah.
I think you'd enjoy it too. It's funny.
Okay.
So you should check it out sometime. It just reminded me because there's this young pop star in it. And she's like, I fell in love with the song, and she's just complete airhead, and she just keeps throwing stuff way out of proportion because she's just like she's thinking she's being all sorts of solemn and very religious and emotional and things like that, but really she's just being just over the top, overly sexual, things like that. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, that's what Spinal Tap is, man. And the other great thing is the other one I remember is they start talking about their drummers and how they keep losing drummers. And I guess the joke in most bands, like you're in high school, you start a band, garage band, you start a group, and the drummer seems to always be the one that it's just it's stigma joke.
Yeah.
That the drummer, always go through. So they add this in the mockumentary, and they're like, "Yeah, we lost another drummer." And they're like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Well, they just die." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, this one guy, he got in a gardening accident, and he died, and then we had this other one, he was in a motorcycle accident, and then the third one, he just exploded." And they go, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, he just exploded. People don't talk about it, but occasionally there are so many people in the world that just explode, like maybe 5 every 20 years."
Beautiful.
It's a movie that has to be watched. Me talking about it, I can talk about it, but
British humor. It has to
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah, well, we should watch it. That should be when we get together just to chill.
Yeah.
That's when, we'll watch
Play
it.
that. Watch Exploding Kittens.
Yeah, because my wife earlier commented as to like how whenever you come over, we're working and not just having fun. I'm like, what are you talking about? We're just
We don't get paid to do this.
Yeah. That's right. We're sitting here drinking ginger ale.
Yeah. In fact, I think we've lost money doing this so far. Well, so what's on tonight's agenda now that we've talked for?
So now that we've talked, let's because I got this chart up. Last podcast, you had played a song, and I was talking about accompanying you.
Yeah, accompanying
on electric guitar.
Yeah.
And what could an electric guitarist do with a guy that's playing?
Yeah.
Let's see, what would you play for the main?
6, 5, 4, and 8. Want me to keep playing?
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, that's right. So I was doing
Nice.
That's what I was doing. So I got this chord chart here. I'm gonna flip the screen. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Beautiful.
Come on. There we go. So you guys can kind of see this chart, and I recommend you taking note of this because it's got everything that I was just doing on it, except the E when you go to that. So Dan's going from F sharp minor to an E major to a D major. Now what I'm doing is I'm using these chords here. Now these are actually 7 chords, as you can see. Hang on a minute. Oh yeah, that works. So 7 chords, major 7 shapes. Now this is according to C major 7. So you can see here, up here in the corner, you can see the shape where you got your ring finger on the high G, and then you got your first finger on the B, 1st fret, and then on the 3rd string you're on the 4th fret with your pinky, and then you got 4th string, 2nd fret. So this is a C major 7. Now if you look on the chart here, it actually lists you the notes. So your first finger is playing the root of the C major 7. So this guy right here. So there's your C, right? Here's your G. Here's your major 7th. And there's your major 3rd. So it's just a C chords that is now playing the notes spaced out differently and in different spots. A C major, so it's giving you your 5th in the top. Now, just as what I notice, when you're accompanying another guitarist or a group, and you're, instead of playing root chords where you're just doing this like bar chord, first position stuff, when you add these and you play these types of things in different positions, the 5th just sounds better in the top. I like this sound. Like the 3rds sound nice too, and I'll get to the 3rds, but the 5ths just sound nice. So when Dan was playing that F sharp minor, I was playing on my chart here. There's my minor shapes. Ignore the C. So just ignore the C. But this is our minor shapes. And here's what the shape looks like with the 5th in the top. Now, it's pretty much, you want to find your 5th. So in the key of F sharp minor, Dan, what is your 5th note in the key of F sharp minor? Your 5th.
It's an E. No, it's not. No.
Spell out an F sharp chord. F sharp.
F-A-C. So it's
F.
C.
C sharp. C sharp. So, where's our C sharp on a guitar here?
Oh, shoot. F sharp minor.
There it is. So Dan, play a normal F sharp for me.
A normal F sharp for you?
Yeah, normal F sharp minor bar. So it has a real, it just expands it. It builds on top of what Dan's playing over there. Now, I'm using the shape, that minor shape there.
Hopefully they can see it.
I know. So
We'll get it fixed.
oh yeah. So we'll have a longer chord for the camera next time, and Dan will be able to look at the chart too. But now Dan's just kind of doing what I tell him over here.
Yeah. That's basically what I do.
But make a pinky on 9, first string.
Okay.
You're barring the 7th. You're barring half of the strings. You're not barring all of them because you're not playing all of them. And then your ring finger is on the 9th fret as well, on the 3rd string. So here. Something sounds a little off.
Yeah, something definitely
Sounds cool though. No, you're playing, well, the only strings you're playing are 4 to 1.
Oh.
4th to 1. There you go. Yeah. So this chart, like if you look at it,
What did you mean the ring finger is on the 9th fret then?
it's on the 9th. On the 9th, 3rd string.
I'm still doing something wrong then.
Let me hear your ring finger. 3rd string.
This is the 3rd string. Do you mean
No.
3rd string from the bottom?
Yeah, 3rd string. There you go. There you go.
play the
and you're playing the 4 high strings. So 4th. That's all I'm playing. Yeah. So that's what in the cam here. So you've got that chord down. Your middle finger isn't doing anything. You're just kind of.
I mute the extra strings.
You're not playing 5th and 6th string when you do these, pretty much. All of these are built on the 4 high strings. So,
what's this based off of? Which shape does this come from?
So, let's see. Well, here, I'll show you. So if you did an F sharp minor normal bar, it's kind of based off of that. But you base it off of the. So do you know your. So you know how you make. So make a A minor shape, but bring it up to the. Yep. Yeah. And then lift your pinky. So there's your F sharp minor 7. So you could argue that it's kind of what I'm showing you in this chart here is kind of based off of that.
So it's a hybrid between the the C shape and the A shape. Is that right?
Right.
Except it would probably be more like this to get it to be minor.
What makes it awkward, what makes this awkward, especially with these chords, and I'll tell you right now, you might be thinking in terms of perfect triads of 3 notes, and it's kind of hard with these. It's hard to do that because you're dealing with 4 notes, and that gives you a lot more options for different shapes just to have those 4 notes. So when you pretty much what I had to do with these, with this chart that you're looking at here, I had to memorize these. However, there might be a way to do it. Like, there is a similar shape. So if you were to play a D major, so play it. If we played a D major chord, I'll show you something.
Which shape D major?
So an open D major chord, right? This is kind of, if you look at where the third's in the top. So here. So this is all where the third is in the top is this row on the end here. So if you wanted to make this a D major 7, the notes you have right now are D open string, which is the 4th, sorry, A, 3rd, D in the 2nd, and F sharp and the high E string there on the high 1st string.
Oh, for your D major.
So that's what you have. If you wanted to make this a D major 7.
Yeah. You drop the 1 down half a step.
Yep. Yeah. Which one though? Because you got one in the bass. And
either one works, but you can't drop the bass because it's an open string. So
nice. There you go, buddy. So we're gonna go just bar across. So that right there is actually this shape. That's that shape. Ignore the C, ignore the C. This is, we're just going by shapes here. Roots in the bass, like you can see in the chart, and across the strings. You can then, since you're not playing the 5th and 6th string, let's move this up. Let's move it up 2 frets. Now in this case, you're going to have to put your first finger down to bar. And you're also going to use your ring finger to bar.
But you open it up to or no, yeah.
Right. So you can then move this to whatever. So what chord is that actually? What chord should I say, Dan? So if you're
E major 7.
Yep. E major 7. Perfect. So that is a shape that I know I can build off of. So now let's do this. Take that E. Well, let's go back.
But this is root position. So
it's actually, you could say it's root position because the E's in the bass.
Yeah.
But it's still considered what we're calling, and I didn't want to get into this too much, but a drop 2 voicing is basically how the notes are structured on the staff.
Yeah, if you look up drop 2 voicings,
yeah, if you
find all sorts of charts for them.
Yeah, if you look up drop 2 voicings, it'll basically, a drop 2 voicing is where you take a perfect 7th chord built on the staff, which is just stacked in thirds, and you take the lower note, you put it on the top, and that's a drop 2.
Mm-hmm.
But this way it kind of just spells it all out for you. And I honestly, as a guitarist, I just had to memorize all of these shapes.
Yeah.
So, but the next shape though, like let's say you wanted to make this a dominant 7, what do you do then? So we're playing this.
Oh, you're down at the D again?
Yeah.
And then you just drop it down a little.
There you go. Right.
Just drop that 7 down to a flat 7.
There you go. So yeah, you got your. So there's your dominant 7. Now, if you wanted to make this a minor 7, you would take your 3rd.
It's called a minor 7, but it's just because it's a minor 3rd with a dominant 7.
All right.
But it's called a minor 7 when it's not a dominant 7. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, so you play a minor 7 chord, you would just automatically assume that the 7 has already been.
The funny thing is, like, a dominant 7 still has a minor 7th interval in it.
Yeah.
So
you could a way that I thought about this was when it came to 7s. I just kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah. You just minor 7 automatically means the 7th has already been brought down a half step to like a dominant shape. If it was not that, it would specifically say to you, play a minor major 7 chord, which is like freaky. Yeah. It almost sounds like a diminished chord. It just gives you that weird feel. Yep.
yeah, okay.
So, from there, we could get into the minor 7 flat 5s, which is basically where you now that we've got
the diminished chords. Anytime you got a flat 5.
Now you got a flat
chord.
5. Where is your 5? On the 3rd string. So we bring that down, and you're just barring the 1st fret with the open.
Minor 7 flat 5.
There There you go.
Welcome to jazz.
So, that is the one shape that I was able to recognize because I saw the D major shape in it. Everything else was all new to me. Well, except root position.
Yeah, they're
obviously root position chords here. So what this is saying is the root is now in the top voice, and you can see it on the chart there. The root is in the top voice. So if we were playing
root position chord means the root's in the top voice.
I'm sorry, I should have said just root in the top. So I'll just say root in the top. Root position is when it's in the bass.
Yeah.
So root in the top. This row of chords looks similar and makes sense because if I was going to play I'll just do C. If I was going to do a C major 7 with the root in the top, I have to find my C note, which is all the way up here on fret 8, and then I got to make my C major 7, which is basically your bar chord.
E shape.
Right. But you take your ring finger and your first finger now plays. Yep.
Yeah.
Now if you want to make that a dominant, what do? You lower the 7th.
Which 7th did you lower?
Dominant
Bass.
7. Yeah, so now technically the 7th is in the bass here.
Because you also have a root in the top
Yeah.
on your high E string.
Yeah. Well, notice how in the 4, I'm not playing the root I'm not playing the 6th and 5th strings. So there's my major 7. Here's my dominant 7. Yep. Now if you want to make it a minor 7, you lower your 3rd, which is in the 3rd string. So you flatten that, you just bar the, which is like, again, a minor chord in the bar chord. So that was another shape that looks familiar too. When you're looking at this chart, those are the two that I was able to pick out. It gets weird when the 7th is in the top voice, which is on the high string, and when the 5th is in the high part of the register. It gets weird. Like that's where it's for a common, regular, average day guitarist, you're not familiar.
You're outside the cage system at that point.
Yeah.
And so what you're doing is you're actually blending between the two.
Yeah.
And drawing notes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
There you go. So what I was doing, and I just think this is great. So like accompanying you on what you were doing with your song there, if I'm doing that, even if you were doing, I got a song where we do, I called it the Blueberry Jam, and it's just a, so it's like, so play a B minor 7. Yeah, so do that. So Dan's playing what I just played, a B minor 7 to a D7. And when I was playing it, so this is kind of funky feeling, right? So what I'm gonna do is play where is it? Minor 7 with the 5th in the top. Ignore the 7. I'm gonna make this a B minor 7. So we're gonna find our 5th note in B minor is F sharp. So F sharp. So while Dan's playing that, check this out. That's just me kind of adding something. just sounds like funkier. Like you can add more stuff to it. Oh, Dan has just had. Dan's feeling inspiration. Beautiful.
Is that 251? Is that right?
And for those of you wondering what just happened, my guitar is now on a clean channel with a phase shifter, and that's what's giving me that fun. Yep. Oh, and here's a funny thing. I was taking the shape where you're seeing the thirds in the top. So let's go to our third in the top. Dominant 7, because what are we playing? We're doing a B minor 7 to a D dominant 7. So there's our shape for a dominant 7 chord. Again, ignore the C. We want to make that B minor 7, E dominant 7. So we want to make this an E dominant 7. So we're going to take, what is our third note in an E chord? G sharp.
E, G, B.
Third note in an E chord. The third.
Do you mean, okay, the third.
I'm sorry, the third.
Because the third note's a...
The third note's a B.
Yeah, B. The third.
All right.
The third.
All right, the
G
third
sharp.
is a G sharp. So our G sharp, sorry, Dan. It's the second time I've done that to you tonight. So there's our shape. And it's like, I'm doing it on the high G sharp. I'm making that shape.
And you're doing that over the E?
Yeah.
No, you're doing the B.
I'm doing it over the E. So you're going.
Yeah.
So I'm going. So if you're doing a B minor. And then do it E. It just gives it a funkier sound. It kind of expands it. So anyway, that's that. That's what we're doing. That's some experimenting we can do there. Yeah. What do you think of that, Dan?
Beautiful.
I'm gonna move this chart away now.
Yeah.
We're back.
I'm waving at myself.
So yeah, so that's what we got going on with that chord chart, and what we were just doing over each other. Dan was playing his tune, and now there was a second part to the tune.
It's actually 4 parts.
It's 4 parts. So what was the second?
F minor. Or F sharp minor. D.
So for this, if we were trying to figure out some type of chordal, so play that again, Dan. So, ended on a happy note. This is the next part. Okay.
And it's to stack 5 major or 4 major chords in the same key.
Rocked me all night long. That's not the lyrics, is it?
No. Oh yeah, so I mean that
This
chorus
is a song for church. How dare you?
I don't know if the song that would be for church, but it's. I just feel like that's not done a lot. That flat major 7 is done a lot, but not in 4 chord songs.
Right.
So 1 A, E, G, D.
That's nice.
Then back to the G. And since I'm a rebel, I'm trying to get this C in here.
it's good, dude.
Yeah.
But what I was doing there, and I'll probably get into this next time. So for those of you interested in what I was doing to accompany Dan for this part 2.
Part 2. F sharp.
That sounds cool. What do you think of that? Do you know what that is?
No.
That was me playing intervals.
Okay.
Intervals of a sixth.
Yeah, sixth always sound good.
But what I was doing, so play an E chord at the.
Are you playing this?
Yeah.
You can easily find this based on the A shape for the E.
Yeah.
You just do
Right.
Yeah. That's gotta resolve. I can't resolve.
That's all right. Here, I'll resolve it for you.
See. Tremolos are witchcraft. Anytime you can just straight up just take the string down to nothing and
I love him. And if you guys are wondering how does he I'm still in tune. Surprisingly, if you're interested, check out my video on setting up tremolos. It is on my channel, and you guys can check that out. I do a whole, because there's a lot unsaid about how to set up floating tremolos. And there's actually, I had no idea there's a whole lubrication process that has to go into the moving parts.
interesting.
Yeah, so I had to find a lubricant to use on the tremolo, so that, because you'd be, if it was dry and you were just playing dry and you dive bomb, it would bounce back up, but it would just be like tiny hair. If you were dive bombing
and it doesn't completely go back into
place.
place.
If you dive bombed, it would be a hair flat, and if you yanked it sharp, it would just be a hair sharp. Because it would just stick. It would just be in this little notch, you know? So you had to lubricate these. I do a whole video on how to set these things up and some digging I had to do. Although, however, now you probably don't really need to dig for it. But I remember when I first looked into it a few years ago, I had to do some digging to find out information. But, yeah. So, but anyway, I was doing intervals of sixths on top of Dan, and I was taking the E shape. So when he starts playing, he starts doing an E, goes to that D, so F sharp, E, F sharp minor, E major, D major. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the notes and the chord up in this position. And then to spice it up, just because it sounds nice on that D, adding so if you played it, technically I'm turning your chord into so that D major there, I'm technically, when I do that melody where instead of going down to the, I go end here, I make it sound like an D major 7 because I'm playing the 7.
Yeah, the extra fifth.
Yep. And a fifth in there, yep. So there you go. And I think we'll get into those next time. Because we've hit an hour, dude.
We have hit an hour.
We have hit an hour. 3 minutes past, actually.
How dare we?
Yep. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add?
I think I'm good.
So do we need to end on something really quick?
I don't know. What do you want to end on?
I don't know. What do we got here?
Hit the chorus one more time.
I think here. And do the song I showed you. Yeah, keep going.
I just realized those major.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. This is another ELFguitar podcast happening with Dynamite Dan. Peace out, everybody.